Welcome back to the Safety Edge podcast, where safety leaders sharpen their edge. I'm Charles Edgar, your safety leadership coach. In this podcast, we explore the real dilemmas safety leaders face on site and in the workplace, not textbook examples, not perfect scenarios, but the challenging, uncomfortable human moments where there's no obvious right answer and the pressure is real. And in each episode, we unpack one real-world leadership dilemma and explore how a coaching mindset can change what happens next. Not by controlling people, but by sharpening how we think, listen, and lead. This season focuses on leadership under pressure. To explore what happens to safety when urgency compresses thinking. Today's episode centers on a pattern many organizations live with every day, often without noticing it. When leaders send mixed signals, stated values versus rewarded behaviors. Because sometimes the most powerful message a leader sends isn't what they say, it's what gets praised when pressure is high. Now let's unpack the dilemma. Picture this. It's the end of a long shift. Production has been under pressure all week. Targets are tight. Delays have already drawn attention. Earlier in the day, the message was clear. Safety comes first. Take the time you need. Speak up if something doesn't feel right. But now, the shift report is coming together. One crew finishes early. They recovered lost time. They pushed through challenges. They didn't stop the job, even when conditions were less than ideal. In the end of the shift review, their name comes up. Good effort, strong commitment, exactly what we need right now. No one says safety doesn't matter. No one tells others to cut corners, but something else just happened. The room is quiet, but people are watching. They are noticing who gets recognized, who gets praised, and what behaviors get rewarded when pressure is real. From where you stand, something feels off. Your stated values are clear, but the signal just sent isn't. Now you are in a dilemma. You're standing in the space between what you say matters and what your system just reinforced. The dilemma is this. Do you let the moment pass because the results look good? Or do you pause and realign the message, knowing it might feel uncomfortable? And if you do pause, what will you say? And how will the team interpret it? Why is this a true leadership dilemma? This is a true leadership dilemma because it's not about hypocrisy. It's about pressure. Under pressure, leaders tend to focus on outcomes. Results feels urgent. Recovery feels like success. And reinforcement happens fast, often unconsciously. But teams don't learn values from posters or speeches. They learn them from patterns. What gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets tolerated gets normalized. And what gets ignored quietly disappears. Mixed signals don't come from bad leaders. They come from systems under strain, where speed competes with judgment and delivery overshadows reflection. Over time, the culture adjusts, not to what leaders say, but to what leaders consistently reinforce. What do most leaders do in these moments? First, many leaders let it slide. They tell themselves, we'll address it later. The message was already clear. But silence is also a signal, and it often speaks louder than intention. Second, some leaders double down on values, but only in words. The praise stays focused on outcomes, while safety reminders remain abstract. Third, some leaders overcorrect, calling out behavior publicly, creating defensiveness and unintentionally damaging trust. In each case, the opportunity to align values with behavior is missed, and confusion quietly grows. Now let's see it from the coaching lens. The shift review is wrapping up. The praise has been given. The room is ready to move on. You pause and say, before we close, can we reflect on something for a moment? The room stills. We've said today that safety comes first. I want to make sure our actions reflect that, not just our words. The supervisor looks up and he responds,
"Are you concerned about how the job was finished?"
You respond back, I'm not questioning commitment. I'm curious about what we might be unintentionally reinforcing. You continue. What did it take for that job to finish early today? An operator responds,
We pushed through. We didn't want to be the reason we slipped further.
and you go on. And what made it hard to slow down when things felt tight? The operator responded after a pause.
Honestly, it didn't seem like taking time to slow down was what mattered.
The room goes quiet. Not defensive, not tense, but awareness is evoked. The supervisor speaks again.
I realize now, even though I didn't say it, the praise probably sent the wrong message. That getting it done mattered more than how it was done.
Now the conversation shifts. Recognition is reframed. Future signals are clarified, and expectations are made explicit, not just stated, but reinforced. The meeting ends, not with blame, but with alignment. Why this approach works? This approach works because culture is shaped in moments like this. A coaching mindset doesn't shame or correct impulsively. It makes signals visible. It helps leaders slow the moment just enough to ask, what are we really teaching here? When leaders align rewards with values, trust strengthens, clarity improves, and the team stops guessing what really matters. Here's the key insight from this episode. Teams don't follow stated values. They follow rewarded behavior. Culture is not shaped by what leaders say. It's shaped by what leaders consistently reinforce, especially under pressure. When deadlines tighten and attention narrows, teams stop listening to statements and start watching behaviors. They notice who gets praised, who gets promoted, and who gets protected, and who quietly carries the cost of slowing down. Every signal matters. Recognition becomes instruction, silence becomes approval, and inconsistency becomes confusion. When leaders reward speed without context, teams learn that outcome matters more than judgment. When leaders praise delivery without asking how it was achieved, shortcuts begin to feel acceptable. And when leaders avoid uncomfortable conversations to keep momentum, values slowly erode without anyone meaning for it to happen. But the opposite is also true. every time a leader pauses to realign actions with value, the system learns something different. That safety is not situational, that judgment is not optional, that doing the right thing matters, even when pressure is real. Leadership under pressure isn't about perfection, it's about consistency between what you say and what you tolerate and what you reward. Because teams don't follow posters, they follow patterns, and leadership is revealed not in intention but in reinforcement. That is the edge. As we close, take a moment to reflect. Where in your organization might leaders be sending mixed signals unintentionally? What behaviors get rewarded when deadlines tighten and pressure rises? And if you pause the next moment of praise or recognition, what signal would you choose to reinforce instead? Because culture isn't shaped by what's written, it's shaped by what's repeated. As safety leaders, our role isn't just to set values, it's to align behavior with them, especially when it's uncomfortable to do so. If today's episode gave you clarity, please leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your reflection might help another leader recognize a mixed signal before it becomes embedded in their team's culture. While here, make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to invite a friend or colleague to listen along with you. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Safety Edge podcast. I'm Charles Edgar, your safety leadership coach. And until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and keep sharpening your edge. Bye for now.
Brought to you by the Safety Edge platform, an independent leadership and safety learning platform, building leadership capacity, one conversation at a time. Find us wherever you get your podcasts.